First of all, we're here at the Wrestling Guy, ready to start off the podcast. But yes, we have the one and only from what department are you starting from? We are being recorded right now, right? Why don't you start all over? I'm being serious.
You can't start all over.
You can't start. Are we live?
Yeah,
we're not live.
We're live.
No, we're not live. I'm serious. We're not live.
I swear to God, we're live.
I'm sorry. I'm talking about the one and only Empire Wrestling Underground Empire Wrestling. Can you help me out?
It's Underground Empire Wrestling, and right now you have the privilege of sitting with the hardcore voice of UEW, Kyle Wylde.
Yeah.
There you go. I had to botch it. I had to botch because you are the announcer. You are the golden voice, and that's why I had to be like a little fuck up here. So there you have it. Thank you.
He worked it off.
Yes. So it was a
round table going on here.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, here in the UEW, we don't roll alone. I got the legendary Homeless Jimmy with us.
Yeah.
Hardcore Max X.
Okay,
and the Rocket Boy, DeMarco Wilson.
Sound like Luigi over here.
And no hot tub.
And no, thank God for no gravy hot tub. That's the last thing we're going to discuss about. These guys are legit gentlemen here. Gentlemen, it's a privilege to have you guys here.
Thank you.
Kyle, man, feed us in. What's going on, man? Tell us what's going on in the professional world of wrestling.
Well, what's going on is Underground Empire Wrestling. I mean, we've seriously become the biggest fucking thing here in SoCal in the last year and a half. I mean, since we came in, we busted the doors down, and no one's quite holding the torch the way we are.
Wow,
so
nice.
Tonight, actually, is our next show. We got Crimson Collision down in 926 Kalela Avenue at the Underground Auditorium.
Very cool. Now, are you gonna work tonight?
Yes, yeah. I work every UEW show.
Are you gonna be doing commentary, or are you gonna be ring announcer?
I'm doing both.
Oh my goodness.
Double duty.
That's double duty. DeMarco, are you involved?
We'll be a part of tonight's show tonight.
Who's your opponent? Guys,
Yeah,
let's not have no dare.
I will be there tonight.
Oh, so I guess
come
we're
down and come check it out.
You got to come down and check them out.
Check it out.
What about you, Maxi Pad?
My match was announced actually 2 weeks ago against Big Dick Haas. Yeah, I gotta take it down.
Big Dick Haas.
No, that's not really. No, why do they call him Big Dick Haas? Is it because he's got a big?
That's his name. That's the one.
Or he's just the biggest prick in pro wrestling.
Well, that is also true.
I think his first name is Richard. I'm not sure.
And real quickly, guys, it is a privilege. We got homeless Jimmy here. Jimmy, are you a part?
You promised him a homeless girl. Where's his homeless girl at?
Well, you know what? She wasn't sleeping outside her box cart, all right? So there. Are you on tonight?
Oh yeah, I'm on every night, like Kyle said. And tonight I got, what is his name?
Michael Kruger.
Michael. I always want to call him Freddie, but Michael Kruger tonight is going to find out why I am the hardcore nomad.
I found out last
It
year.
is.
Now let me ask you this. I know another homeless person, and he's a pro wrestler. He's a good friend of mine too. Hobo. Have you heard of Hobo?
Yeah, I got the privilege of meeting him one time.
Did you guys ever mix it up, or did you guys like switch Thunderbirds or Night Train?
He's the what WWE likes, the gimmick homeless, where I am actually had part being homeless at some time or another. It's not actually just a gimmick. It's part of what I have been doing all my life. And then the other thing is I'm hardcore. I wouldn't even step in the ring with him because, no offense to the guy, but to me that's what a joke wrestling is, where I'm doing wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fighting. I'm putting my body on the line, and it's not just about entertainment. It's a lot about entertainment, but it's not just about entertainment. You know what I'm saying?
Pretty much, I do, loud and clear. Now, Kyle, let me ask you something real quickly. I want to get, if you don't mind, if we go past memory lane with you. Let's start off. What got you into professional wrestling? Did you want to be a wrestler? Was it commentary, or what was it? Give us the foundation of your birth of Kyle Wishner.
Well, I got into wrestling like a lot of people. I watched it since I was a kid. I always loved watching wrestling. It was something I did with my family. It's kind of like our bonding thing was watch it. And, we got lucky, found indie wrestling, hung out at a couple shows. My wife actually got started working closer in that. She actually was the ring announcer before me. She was working with LCW. She was doing ring announcing, and so I kind of got to hang out backstage and kind of see people that I grew up watching and stuff, and slowly talk to people. People heard me, started going, man, you got a great fucking voice. Why aren't you using it? Why don't we do something with it? And
I heard it on DVDs and this. So it's pretty cool. I'm like, this guy's legit here. I like his tone.
Thankfully, I found Michael Rummins and UEW, and they were the first ones to give me a chance. They gave me a little test run. We did UEW's Return from the Depths, and I got to sit with AWC, and so that was already kind of crazy. The guy used to run Rev Pro, and so now I'm sitting with him, calling the action, and so that was crazy. And
was it kind of like nerve wracking at first in the beginning when you started?
Yeah, I came out there and I talked about everything I could think of, and all of a sudden I ran blank, and I'm sitting out there, and I got people staring at me, and I'm going, oh fuck, what am I supposed to do now? And everyone's looking at me like, come on, man. And thankfully, Rivera was there and came out and saved my ass. So
I was nervous. I get nervous all the time in here.
He gets nervous when he's near me anyway, so that's no big deal.
I'm very upset with some people at this table. That's why I'm kind of quiet.
DeMarco, what you do?
Oh goodness, DeMarco, I got some Hulkamania t-shirts.
So UEW,
jealous of my hair.
UEW is this big. I mean, like you said, it's coming out of nowhere right now.
It's booming.
It's booming right now. I mean, what do you think that's credited to?
There's nothing out here like what we are. You see a lot of the same kind of stuff. You see a lot of the same guys on a lot of the same shows. And not that we're not guilty of that too. We do use a few of the same faces that you see everywhere. But I also think we bring a large variety of faces you've never seen. There's a large portion of NorCal talent out here that only works with UEW. There's Max X is a product of the Underground School of Professional Wrestling. This guy was nowhere until what? When did you start? Passage to Pain?
I started, yeah. It was a 6-way match. And I got started from there, and I stuck to training. And, like everyone starts off training, they always give up on it halfway, and I didn't give up halfway. And now I feel like I've become a big part of the UEW show. I feel like people come out, they want to...
The fans called you hardcore, kind of stuck with you after that.
I talked about that last time, where the fans knew me before I even knew myself. And, now they're calling you the hardcore voice. DeMarco might be the hardcore rocket next time. You never know.
No, that's funny. I'm doing my own thing. It's all good. I'm kicking off tonight's show tonight. I'm going into the ring. First one to start the show off tonight. So whoever has the ball to step in the ring.
Oh shoot! There you go.
Open challenge.
Butcher, that sounds like a challenge to you, buddy.
Before, he never came in with that kind of tone, man. It's just like he's manning up a little bit.
I think he's gotten some directions from some of us out there.
Very true. I mean, we found this guy. He was doing a charity show in Canoga Park, and I seen the guy, and I talked to him and said, man, you got to come down and got to start training with us at the Underground School of Professional Wrestling. He did it. He came down the next week. He's been in there ever since, and definitely this guy's got a fucking attitude now.
Nice. So now, are you?
No one's gonna believe me if you don't believe in yourself.
You are the founder.
Even though you don't want me to be a manager.
Underground Wrestling.
No, I am not.
Who is the founder?
I don't know if I'm actually at liberty to discuss that with you. The booking committee and the founder as well is anonymous.
Okay.
We do. Mike Rummins is the acting president of UEW, so he is basically the one in charge. But we do go through a committee. Everything is solid.
You know what? That's fair enough. I mean, I think that's a great answer. I mean, so that's like.
Yeah, we are very professional. Actually, there's a few of us on the board. Kyle and myself are actually on the board members of the company. So.
And I love the dress code for the board members.
Oh, thank you.
I appreciate that. I mean, I like the gold chain. I like the tats.
Gold, silver.
I mean, silver. My bad. I mean, I'm a silver guy.
Yeah, you're talking trash if you're saying anything.
He's got
you
the
know what?
shades
I got
on
the
right
shade
now.
out there. Help me out here, though.
There you go.
It's just part of my gimmick.
You guys dress the same with the great...
I know. Well, we're probably maybe about the same generation, maybe. I don't know.
They went shopping at the same place.
How old are you? Oh, okay. You're older than me.
Okay, so there we go. Hey, we're from the 70s. There. Yeah.
I got 20 years of wrestling on my belt.
And I got 6.5 and been involved 8. So
8 days.
Yeah.
8 days.
And not active anymore. So
Now UEW has a school too.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the school?
Yeah, I mean, it's still kind of getting going. There is classes there every week currently, but the school is still kind of being built as we're going. We've got a few teachers there. Homeless Jimmy's one of the teachers over there. We actually also, I believe, the Ballard brothers are going to be helping out there now as well. I think they're going to be there Tuesdays.
nice.
God, there's a few people. Andre Verdun, one of the best in SoCal. He's there training as well on Saturdays. We've got a few different teachers coming in and out. There's, I think, free ring time right now as well. And I know when the free ring time's going, we've had guys like Los Luchas in there and a couple other guys. So we're slowly getting it going. I'd say over the next month or two, because we only have 3 more shows left for the year, not including our tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
So after the shows kind of come to an end, it's going to be focusing on the school and pumping the school to get ready for the new year. So
That is freaking amazing.
So now let's say if somebody wants to become a ring announcer, or they might play like you.
yeah,
Do they go there for the school too?
why not? Sure.
Are you going to teach?
I would not be opposed to sharing what I do with
Your
anybody.
job, man.
Forever.
That's still your job.
You gotta have a Sean Mooney on the side. Or Greg the George. Some of the old names that I can remember.
So your wife's a wrestler,
Yes.
and you're an announcer.
Yes.
Do you guys go home and discuss wrestling? What happens that day, or do you guys kind of?
Or sometimes, like, you know what? I'm up to
talk
wrestling. Let's talk about maybe some reality show.
You know, we try to do it like that, where it's like, let's turn it off, but it never works. You're on 24/7, so.
Okay. Well, how did you guys meet, and how did you go up to her and say, "Hey, babe, you want to go out?"
we actually met.
Did you invite her
Facebook.
to Disneyland?
No.
Okay.
No, I did not. I would have taken her to Disneyland, but I didn't like Max said. But yeah, no, we actually met on Facebook back when we were both in high school, and so we're high school sweethearts. We dated all through high school. Got married a couple years ago, and she kind of helped me with my passion for wrestling. You know, she walked in first and kind of was like, you know, stop being a wallflower. Talk to these guys. You know, you have a great voice. Talk to them. And once
Well,
I
I
did,
ever heard that expression, wallflower in ages.
What made you actually go up to them though?
well, you know, you're hanging out so much anyway. It's like it's awkward not to say hello, and it's disrespectful. So I start talking to everybody, and then guys like Supreme, guys like Andre and stuff would conversate with me and really pick my brain, try to see where I was at. And at first, you know, I did train for a little bit at a different wrestling school, and I got into a car accident, stopped everything, and while I was hurt, they got this idea. Well, what if we could use you as a referee? Maybe we could do a referee. No. You got a good voice. Maybe we could just do ring announcer. And so I actually, up until like the week before the first UEW show, I thought I was the ring announcer. And then I show up and, oh, no, you're doing commentary with Ron Rivera. Oh, okay. I'm doing commentary now. So that's just kind of how that worked out. But, you know, I guess it worked out for the best. I'm enjoying doing what I'm doing, and I think the fans and everybody else seems to enjoy it. So.
Yeah, if you ask me, since the day I met you, I was like, dude, you got it. Remember?
Thank you. Yeah.
And I've been with UEW for a short while now. Can't even remember what month I came in on.
You actually came
back from like being away from California for 13 years, and I was asked to come help out with UEW, and Kyle was one of the first people I got to meet when I showed up.
Now, are you going to be permanent now in California?
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking at a bag of chips like you want. Do you want some, Jimmy? I mean, homeless.
No,
I mean,
I'm good. What else you got in this bag?
Okay.
Well, let me ask you then, and this is for all of you guys. There's a lot of competition on the indie scene, and you know you have a Blue Chat VIP.
And I'm glad we got someone that's been here
UIPW.
20 years. I didn't cut you off because I want to get people's perspective of how do you guys see, even from WWE, from indies to even to like Ring of Honor, Lucha Underground. How do you guys see wrestling now today than how it was back 20 years of experience and your experience and you guys?
Some people think it's evolving. I think it's devolving. I think it's starting to die. I don't know if I want to use exact names, but there's a lot of guys that come out here and they say, oh, you know, these old timers and this and that, they think this, and you know, you don't need to listen to them, you need to evolve and this and that. And I guess their idea of evolving is no selling moves and high spots. and that's what it seems a large portion of wrestling's become. And it seems like it's kind of, it's not the fans' fault. I think it's the workers' fault. And you see now the fans expect that shit. They expect somebody to go out there and do a fucking triple moonsault 5 times in a match. They expect to see 20 super kicks. They expect to see that shit, and it's why, you know. At least that's my opinion on it.
There's no
How about you?
psychology to it.
Exactly.
Anymore. That's what it is they just want to go out there and showboat, and it's not about what they're giving the fans. It's what they're taking for themselves. You know, oh, look at me, I'm glorified. I could flip around 25 times and get killed by every finisher move in the book. You know, like I don't, again, not naming any people, I don't even remember what their name is, it doesn't matter. But the fact is, they did like 3 of, one of my favorite WWE wrestlers right now is Randy Orton. And I saw in one match they did, 3 of his finisher moves? What is
the
it,
RKO? Yeah.
Right.
It's like, okay, when does it end? If you can't finish the guy with that, then where else do you go from there? And then why is that last finish move the finish move that finishes the guy, you know? It just doesn't make any sense anymore.
Max?
More to
No,
say?
go ahead.
No, I mean,
This guy's good at cutting me off. That's the second time.
My apology, Jimmy.
No problem.
no, I mean,
You didn't eat your chips just right.
Jimmy, just
Yeah,
for that.
you better grab your
Let's
chips.
you know, here.
No,
Oh, the peace offering.
Is my daughter trying to tell me something?
oh,
We got some gum here involved.
I mean, since I am being trained by these guys, I have that same mentality where it's like, you know, back when I was a fan, you know, none of this really hit me as it does now when I'm being told it. When I was watching wrestling, it didn't occur to me like, oh, that you know, that movie is, you know, should kill this guy. You know what I mean? And I have the same thing, but when he said where wrestling is at now, I feel like we're going back into another wrestling boom. Like the wrestling itself might be, you know, going down, but just the entire, you know, entity of wrestling is on a rise again. Where in the early 2000s, you know, I feel like people were losing interest and it doesn't matter anymore. But now wrestling itself is like back in like pop culture. Like everyone's talking
Cool
about.
again.
Everyone's talking about wrestling now, and everyone wants to go to wrestling shows, and there's a lot of people who want to start being wrestlers themselves. So the art and the craft of wrestling might be plummeting, while the wrestling industry itself is on the rise.
Rocket Boy?
Well, my whole
Man, a few
mindset
words.
of wrestling kind of changed in the last couple of months, especially training here. It was an eye-opener for me. It was a late-night training session I had. It was a private training session. Me, Max, and one of our trainers over at UEW. We were just, after a long day of training, we watched some wrestling in the 1950s. It was a match between Buddy Rogers and Luthez. And after that was my, remember, I'm new to the whole wrestling scene, so that was my first time
You know what? I applaud you for knowing those names. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of you guys don't know who those guys are. So it's pretty pathetic that, you know, if you're gonna know.
That's sad.
Yeah. So I mean, know some of the guys, you know, from the past. But go ahead.
Oh yeah, and it was my first time seeing that. You know, I was new to this. I was new to that. Me coming into wrestling, this is everything I see now is new to me. So me seeing that, I was like, wow, like why isn't wrestling not like that now? You know what I mean? So when I saw it, I'm like, man, this is freaking great. This is awesome. I want to be more like that instead of more, you know, high spot. Actually, he's attacking because it means something. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of hard to explain. I love the way wrestling's going, but me personally, I want to bring something different. I want to change it back
Maybe
to
more to the
original.
grapple instead
Yeah.
of the spot fest.
Flippy flips.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. 'Cause that's what I think it is. It's a spot fest now. It's
Pretty
like
much.
make people get up. There's no more, like you said, psychology.
Exactly. If I
Behind
kick you in
it.
the face, you're gonna feel that.
The super kick. Shawn Michaels put people with the super kick. People jump out of it and just they're okay. It's, what the fuck?
Let me ask you this. Now, UEW, of course, we hear a lot, and I asked Andre here because he came a while back. It's not a family-friendly show.
It depends on your interpretation of family friendly.
Yeah,
Right.
Well, there's plenty of little kids at our
bring
shows.
the kids.
That's what he was telling me, which I find amazing. He says they don't promote it as family-friendly, but
No.
you have a lot of kids
Yeah.
in the audience. But
No
Yeah,
matter what, they're
That's
still
what
gonna
you
bring it.
decide to subject your kids to.
Right.
So who's to say what's right and what's wrong?
Right.
You know, you could sit there and show your kids scary movies, but then take them to church and preach the Bible.
That's me.
You know, or you sit there and, you know, I mean, yeah, you got to be conservative. We don't have nudity.
Right.
No.
XPW promoted nudity,
Right.
and yet we still had people bringing kids. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not that we had nudity on. Well, we did have a couple of naked asses, I'm sure, rolling around there. And all that.
You should know, Butcher. You're an ass man.
Women's ass, okay? Women. This is women.
You were looking at Max's ass when he was walking out.
What are you talking about? Oh, goodness.
Just throwing you on
Those
Oh,
tight
my
pants,
goodness.
I've been told, so I understand.
But you know that UEW is getting all the. We're hearing a lot. They're very
Since for the past
instead
year
of
and
a
a half.
spot fest.
Yeah.
More of the hardcore style, and there's
Yeah.
not enough wrestling.
Oh, you're
And
hearing
it's just-
really?
Yeah.
That's the first time I've heard
So
that.
I won't mention names, but
You see
what
those
do you
in the match,
think?
you'll see some wrestling.
Throwing the rule book out the
Pretty
window.
much exactly what he just said. Well, see, that's a common misconception as well. There are rules in UEW. Not every match is a hardcore match. You know,
That's why
what's
we
that?
announce it, you know, UEW, what is it?
Underground rules, death
Yeah.
match. You know, we'll tell you. I mean, and of course, there's also the referee's discretion. So sometimes the referee allows a little bit more than sometimes should be allowed. But there are rules, and there actually is a handbook on the website. If you go to the website on uewwrestling.com, you can take a look at all our rules. So there are rules. But like I was saying, I don't remember the SoCal Uncensored. Was that the?
Yeah.
SoCal, they'll never come and check out our show the right way. But these guys missed out one of the greatest matches I think I've seen in a long time. We actually had the Axe Murderer Bobby Hart go one-on-one with Daniel Torch. Not a hardcore match. I don't even think the fucking guys touched the ropes or left the ring. And they went 15, 20 minutes and had a phenomenal match. But you won't hear about that. So I don't know. I think it's people play favoritism on who they talk about and who they talk up, and it's okay. We're getting noticed, and we'll get there on our own.
More
Just
politics.
say you just come check the product out. Like
Yeah.
when you see it with your eyes, you open up a whole new light of wow, like there's an actual wrestling show. You don't have to see all that. You know what I mean? Like you don't need high spots to make a fucking great match.
Right. You feel you're more old school there, maybe when you get away from the, like you said, when people take away the hardcore, which is what they're thinking you guys are. Do you think you seem like he said more of the old school wrestling than the
Mentality.
Yeah.
high flying?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, we have some high flyers in there and stuff, but yeah, you'll see a lot more of the technical side. You'll see a lot more submissions. This fucking guy does a double wrist lock.
I try to.
Try to. Yeah, he hasn't been successful with it
You
yet,
have to
but
get it on all of us.
but if he locked it in, I'd say he'd probably make you tap. So.
What are you into, Butcher? Are you more into the spot fest or more into the
I'll be
old school psychology?
You know, I'm more into spots and a very few little old school. I mean, don't get me wrong, because that's what I started with. I mean, I've been watching wrestling since 1976, but
Now you're starting to show you talk your
since I was a little brat, I remember seeing Andre. Okay, so that big old hair he had, but I was never a big fan of hardcore matches. I just, you know,
Really?
I was never, because back in the days, I was a big fan of watching Faces of Death and stuff, all that grotesque stuff, and you know. But I don't know. As time went on for me, and I just couldn't see someone getting hurt. You know, even though I know, even though
He's one of those.
I just don't. I can't stomach it now. I don't know why. That's why I can't apply for to be a police officer. That I was so eager to do.
What did you told me that these guys were going to be fans and shit. This guy's talking about not being able to even come see me. Every match I'm in, I get hurt, bleed.
Jimmy, have a
cut
leg.
up. Huh?
Have a leg, will you? So, anyways,
Sorry,
they're honey barbecue.
I didn't mean to cut you
I know,
off.
you got even. You got. We're gonna have a hardcore match. You know what? I never had a hardcore match. Let's have one here today.
Oh.
Right here
After today, we kind of look
On the
like
podcast.
On the
We'll call
podcast.
A little warm up for me before I got Michael Kruger.
Let me ask you.
I fought him before.
But to sum it up real quick, I know a lot of the younger people, they're more into it, and you know they see that more as a craft and as a style. You know what? So, you know,
I think it gets a bad name, but you know, we were talking earlier, and I know I was kind of talking bad about wrestling in the sense of like I think it's kind of starting to die because they do pump the shit out of the spot fests and stuff. But it's funny, in the last year, deathmatch wrestling and hardcore wrestling has been mentioned on CNN, and then just recently we had Waves come in and they filmed a music video with UEW, and it's actually now been mentioned in Rolling Stone. So I think deathmatch wrestling on the hardcore scene is on the rise again. I think it's about to have its second win. I think it's coming back up. I think people are really interested in it. I mean, you go to the East Coast, it's all over the East Coast. We're the only guys doing it out here in the West Coast. The East Coast, they've got the Nick Gage Invitational. They got the King of the Deathmatch tournaments. The Slave to the Deathmatch. Actually, JD Horror, our guy right now, is over there doing the Slave to the Deathmatch tournament in Denver, Colorado. So it's everywhere but here.
That's not quite the East Coast. But
Well, you know what I mean. It's not here.
Hey, so homeless guy, you know
I know.
geographically,
He's a well-traveled. You know,
Yeah, he's a well-traveled.
East
No,
Coast.
man.
I actually wrestled up there in CZW. I wrestled for ICP, JCW. Those are guys hardcore too, even though they're clowns.
Right.
Their shows are always hardcore. They have TNA most of the time on their shows. Got to meet Billy Graham out there. That's actually where I met Cult Fiction. Wrestled against them many a times until I finally, succumbed to it.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, it's going to happen out here in the East Coast or West Coast actually, and this,
You know
this
what?
guy is one of the reasons why I believe, because he's the voice.
Thank you.
It's not always about the wrestlers; it's about the whole group in total.
So how hard is it to call matches?
So I'm not a fan of myself at all. I every time I'm out there, I'm like, oh man, that's gonna suck, and then everyone's like, oh, that was so great, it was funny, and this and that. But at first it seemed a lot harder. I felt like I was trying a lot, and then now it's just like I've relaxed. I'm just when I go to wrestling shows with my friends, and I just sit there and talk shit and just kind of like, oh, this is what's going on. Now I kind of do that with my partner, and it's so much more fun. I feel like it goes through a lot better, and we're not trying as hard, so it doesn't come off that way.
Do you go over what you want to say, or do you just pretty much?
No, we just go out there and shoot from the hip.
Is it? You kind of. All right, let me ask you for you guys though. That when he calls the match and then you go back and hear it, do you feel he adds a lot more to the match?
Well, yeah. I mean, have you ever been to a live show where you can't hear the broadcasters talk? It's kind of almost lame. That's why I don't like going to wrestling shows. For one, I don't want to be seen in the audience. Oh, there's homeless Jimmy. He wishes he was in the WWE. That's why he's in the audience. No, it's not like that. But yeah, there's nothing like having somebody that has a phenomenal voice behind it. That helps push the product. He tells the audience what they just saw. He's a storyteller. We're the animated action figures that he's using as that.
No, and you got a sharpness, quickness to it, and that's what was more catching, because I've heard a lot of commentators, and some of us like, oh, okay, it's kind of dull, but when you speak fast and you're quick and you're sharp-edged, you carry it very well. So I figure, wherever you take it from, this product from wrestling, UEW, Lucha, I always get, always been
Not Lucha Underground.
No. Underground.
We're the real underground, okay?
But it's like you could take it to you got to take it to another level, and I could see that great success in you with that.
Thank you very much.
Oh, totally. And Max, keep kicking ass, man. I see a lot of potential.
You
too.
take your ass back to Disneyland.
Yeah, both of you guys. You guys. Oh my goodness, David. Jeez.
Right.
Well, let me ask. So then, when you call the matches, though, how do you know? Do you come up with the moves? Like, if he comes up with a new move out of nowhere, does he tell, like Max tells you, or even DeMarco or Homeland, they tell you, like, I'll do this?
I get to talk to them a little bit, and sometimes, I'll ask them, hey, is there a name for this, or something like that, and sometimes they'll tell me something. Most of the time, no. I'll either just call it by what I know it as, or by its technical term, or sometimes I'll put a spin on it and call it stuff. He has done Max X has done suicide dives. I've called them kamikaze dives. Things like that.
Kamikaze dives. I like that.
The way I see it, the commentator is doing work for whatever company it is. This is UEW. So if they call it whatever they want to, it's their product. That's what they're going by. It doesn't really have to have a name. If it's that important, if I have the homeless Jimmy compactor or something like that, and I come up to them, I say, okay, that's what my finisher move is. That's on me.
Right.
It's their product. If they decide to call it something else, when I was in XPW, all my moves were all decided by Larry Rivera and Chris Kloss.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they were.
Chris is amazing.
Yeah, he's amazing. They were both great. Larry, you know, you had to warm up to him at first with the accent, but once you got through that, you know, and he started getting a little bit better because he was pretty new at it too.
Right.
And so, but yeah, they were both great. And Kyle here, like I said, if it's not that important, then he's going to come up with that name, and that's where we're going to stick to it.
Now that you mentioned that name, Chris Kloss, it'd be so awesome to see you and him do a work together.
It's been brought up before, but I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Yeah.
I'd like to work with Rivera.
Sorry, Chris.
I know nothing.
I know Chris has his own radio thing going on too.
Nothing against him at all, but for me, watching XPW as a fan, that's always the stuff that stuck out to me. Is this violent crap, and that was the shit to me. So.
Yeah.
Do you have any guys when you come up with something and be like, I really didn't like that, you said that, or without mentioning names?
I'm sure
It might be the guy to your left.
I'm sure that nothing that really stands out. You know.
It's the what?
Oh no, don't ignore me. Go ahead, keep on talking, Kyle.
What was the question?
All right, let me ask you. So your wife, have you done commentary on her matches?
Yeah.
Has she ever told you like, damn man, you suck today?
No, thankfully, no. I mean, she'll you know, she doesn't sugarcoat anything for me. If she thinks, hey, you could have done this better or something, she'll tell me. But no, I thankfully I haven't fucked up any of her matches yet. So because I'm sure if I did, that would be I'd be the first one to hear it. So
how about when you ring announce?
I've had a couple miffs. Actually, the one that stands out in my mind the most, the first night I got to officially do ring announcing when we did our inaugural auditorium show. We did Fuck the World. Best name ever. At FTW.
Would have been better would have called it Fuck the Butcher, but go ahead.
Oh goodness, there we go.
What's
This is
going on today? Everybody's against you.
He's always like this. So just, I'm used to it.
At the first show, I announced the matches for the Eastern Pacific Championship. For whatever reason, maybe it's because I'm kind of a fucking mark, I started to call it the European Championship. And so, we don't have a European Championship. So that was probably my stupidest one. I felt pretty dumb after that.
Well, you also did with me and Tornado. You were like, to my left, and I was on your right side. and then you were like, and then to my right, and Tornado was on your left side.
I'm sorry, Max.
Told you.
It finally comes out.
Told you it was the guy to your left right here that was giving the biggest criticism.
He was waiting.
He was just waiting.
Hey, that was also if I don't remember correctly, that you and Human Tornado, let's pledge your allegiance. That's also when I had like a freaking I don't know what that was. And I had to be taken into the backstage after your match. So.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me ask you this: since we have a 20-year vet right here, has he given you any tips that stick to you, like when you're on ring announcing, or have you seen anything that you've told him like, hey, you need to work on this?
Well, yeah, I believe I've talked to him a few times, but really not too critiquing. You know, he's pretty good. Like I said, I think it was all pats on the back. You know, I don't know. Did I give you any special tips or anything like that?
Nothing really like that. I mean,
not like a critic, not like
believe in yourself.
Maybe
I mean, I wouldn't be if he had something to tell me. I wouldn't be opposed. Like, I don't want to hear that. Of course I would listen, but I don't think we've ever actually had
I
that.
think most of the time we're smoking one, so at the end of the conversation, it's kind of like Jimmy said something good, but what was it?
No comment.
He just gave me that look, Max, right here.
Yeah, Mr.
Straight edge guy.
Straight edge society here.
Whatever. Jimmy was trying to give me his.
Good for you.
So.
Yeah, don't make me try to bring out my hooch now.
Disgusting. I don't know how you mix that shit.
Now you also host or part of the UI TV.
Oh yeah, I'm the host.
I thought that was very genius. I see. It was.
Well, we'll find out after tonight. He is going one-on-one with Tornado, and if Tornado beats Biagio, that's now his show.
Oh.
Biagio's show.
Well, he's the UI TV champion, and so it's kind of like his show. We show his matches in their entirety. If you hold the belt, your match is shown in its entirety. It's not clips or highlights. So it's kind of like your show, and you kind of get to come in there and host with me.
Another tidbit you don't know about us?
Yeah, pretty much. You know, so
No,
I'm being educated right now.
That's okay.
We can educate you very well.
I'm being very.
Tonight. You guys come down. You got UEW
Yeah.
down the street.
It's very close, but I know exactly where it's at.
Did you know where it is? Where the fuck are you?
Well, mostly I'm a family.
He's
man.
busy.
I'm very busy, and that too.
Yeah, family man.
Yeah, okay.
I understand.
When the wife leaves, he needs that 5 minutes.
Right.
My balls in the purse. I can't go out. Lost them
Tries
on.
to sock me, you know.
Someone's look at the sock move. Here you
I got the
go.
Marcos
Friends,
needs the
you don't
knee
need friends. You got a holiday.
The Marcos needs the knee highs. Max needs the baby toddler size. So anyway, so I heard UITV is ending.
Yeah, I mean it's not ending. It's coming to an end for this year. It's our first season's finally up. So October, I think we have 2 more episodes. I think I don't want to give an exact date because we've been kind of off. This whole thing's been kind of a work in progress. It's new for us, the whole UITV thing, and I'm thinking when we come back, we'll be coming back in February. I think when we come back, we'll come back stronger. We'll come back. I think we discussed it's going to be a bi-monthly show now, or maybe it was bi-weekly. I can't remember, to be honest.
Right.
We'll hammer it all out before February.
I'm
But,
trying to get it to where it's every week, but
We were on that for a little bit,
money
and
talks.
It's a little
I need to
tired.
get some good sponsors going on.
this is true. We need to start looking for sponsors.
Wrestling.
I may have something here, but I'll tell you after the radio.
All right.
And
And then you also do the creature feature, right?
Yes, yeah. Actually, UEW sponsors all our shows. We get use of the auditorium, and we've been doing them on Fridays. We're actually going to start switching them to Saturday nights, and we do a double feature. You come down; they're all free. There's going to be 2 actually.
I know you had Zombie, you had They Live,
Yeah, we did a tribute to Roddy Piper. We did They Live. We did Lucy Felice's Zombie. We did.
Nightmare on Elm Street last.
We did Nightmare on Elm Street last time for Wes Craven.
The original,
Maniac.
right?
Yeah. Actually, we had it was the original, and it was the unrated extended cut, so it's pretty cool. Never saw when they spit Johnny Depp back out. So that was pretty cool.
Really?
Well, I've seen the blood, but they actually spit his corpse back out, too, at the end. They took that out of the original movie.
I did not
So-
know that.
Same question that I
That
told you.
tongue part scared the shit out of me.
The phone?
Yes, I would never
That's
answer
in
the
2,
phone.
isn't it?
No, that's in 1.
That's
Oh,
in 1, right?
okay.
I would never answer the phone after that. And my mom played a horrible trick on me.
Oh.
She got another line and called from the other line to call that one, and I'm watching the movie and I'm trying not to go answer because I'm terrified that a tongue is gonna come out.
But yeah, we got a few more of those this year. Actually, we're about to with UEW. We're going to go to this convention next week. It's called HorrorCon International. It's out here in LA. They're actually not just a horror convention. They do Halloween, music, art, a little bit of everything.
I've seen your photos in
You
some of those locations. I'm like, oh, look at him. He's right there. I think the biggest one, Palooza.
Oh, the Monster Palooza?
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, that's going on right now. They have the Son of Monster Palooza in Burbank. But yeah, we're doing HorrorCon. We're actually gonna have 2 booths split between UEW and Creature Feature. So we have one on the top floor, one on the bottom floor, and we're gonna have Homeless Jimmy, Max X, a couple different guys. I don't know if DeMarco Wilson.
You're getting the Hulk Hogan treatment.
Yeah, man.
I'm actually getting shut out. I don't know why.
That's kind of racist.
You know what? He came in with an attitude right off the bat, dude.
I said hi. I shook your hand.
Oh, he shook your hand.
I don't.
Can you have a chip now?
Got everybody a chair.
That's all right. You're
I
a
actually like a chip.
I would actually like a chip.
You're a butcher shit list, huh? Max on my shit list. You're okay.
Oh goodness.
I won't treat you like Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, so after HorrorCon, we do have a couple creature theaters at the auditorium. Up next, October 2nd, we're doing Demons and the house on the left for actually one of our tag team champions, Max Ammo. He's having his birthday, so we're celebrating his birthday with Creature Theater, and he picked the movies, so it's gonna be cool.
That's totally cool. That's awesome.
The
Keeping wrestling with entertainment with horror. I mean, that's a plus.
If you even kind of had matches there, like not supposed to happen, but yeah, we had Tony Ray showed up, Max Hamill, they don't get along, so they started fucking going at it, and so you never know what you miss when you come out to the auditorium, even if it's a creature
Yeah,
theater
the
night.
last one apart from these youngsters, I was the only wrestler there. So.
Did you go to the creature theater?
He made his
I was sitting
first
right next to
appearance.
Jimmy, but
Okay, let me ask. Halloween.
I
Are you
said
doing
apart
anything?
from you.
Halloween actually is UEW's biggest event of the year. It's kind of like, I guess, our WrestleMania. It's Hellbound. We're on Halloween night, and after Hellbound, we're going to do a creature theater all night until the sun comes up. It's for free. Bring a sleeping bag, bean bag, whatever the hell you want. Bring it in.
That's
watch
what
movies.
movie are you showing?
we're actually not releasing the movies because we're just going to keep it a surprise. We're going to have the one thing we are telling people about is we're going to show Ash vs. Evil Dead because they're debuting that on Halloween. So we're going to have it on the big screen, and then we're going to have cartoons and just
maybe,
different
maybe a little
cartoons.
Mad Monster party.
It's going to be a party, basically. We're actually having like 3 parties in October. We're doing one with Freak Show as well. Freak Show's coming out at the auditorium on October 17th.
Now, are you involved in that as well?
I have done commentary for them before,
Okay.
as Creature Feature,
Right.
but I've worked with them before, and I'm working now with Sin Bodhi to promote Creature Feature and Freak Show together. So Sin Bodhi and the Boogeyman will be at Creature Theater hanging out with us. They're going to be semi-hosting, do photo op, meet and greet with the fans and stuff, so that'll be kind of cool as well.
That's freaking awesome.
You know, I heard all these movies, Nightmare on Elm Street and all this. And there's one movie that I haven't heard you guys have shown, and I'm kind of disappointed, which is Halloween.
The same night that we have the Boogeyman Sin Bodhi is where you're showing John Carpenter's Halloween, and after that is Michael Daltrey's Trick or Treat.
All right.
So that is our double Halloween feature.
I thought you were going to tell me we're showing John Carpenter's Halloween and Rob Zombie's.
Oh,
I was ready
no,
to
no,
walk
no.
out right now. I was ready to walk
That
out
doesn't
the
even
show.
count as a Halloween.
Oh, my God. I was ready to say, you know what, this show's over. We don't do Rob Zombie. So you're a big horror fan.
Oh yeah,
Which one's your favorite?
my favorite. Actually, it's kind of funny we're talking about Halloween. My favorite horror movie is Halloween 2.
Oh, really?
When they go to the hospital.
Hospital.
That's my favorite movie.
Really?
I could watch that all day, every day. I don't know why. It's just it's a bigger body count. I like the quiet Michael. I don't like you're talking about the Rob Zombie Michael is. I don't like that shit.
What do you think of Rob Zombie's Halloween 2?
You know what? I hated the movie as a Halloween. If he would have not called it Halloween, I actually think Halloween 2 was cool if it would have been its own movie.
Right.
But the fact that they are acknowledging that it's Michael Myers and it's Halloween and Laurie Strode and all that I wash my hands of that. But the movie itself, if you pretend it's not Halloween, it's actually not that bad. It's a good movie. The fucking horse and shit, I don't know what the fuck they were thinking
It's
of.
just a way for him to get his wife. Right?
I don't know what the fuck that was.
His wife's in every damn movie. All right, how about they're making a new Halloween next year?
Oh, the third one now,
Third
yeah.
one,
It's the
which is
second
supposedly
or third.
what happened between 2 and 4.
Right. Yeah. It's actually like the second or third time they've done this where they've done a sequel to the second movie.
Right.
They did H2O was supposed to be the sequel to that. This one's going to be
I
one.
wonder if he's going to do his own version of Halloween 3.
Zombie or
Dum, 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 dum.
oh
Halloween
shit.
3.
I'm surprised they haven't tried to redo that one now. But
I wonder why they called that one Halloween.
actually, I think it was supposed to be called The Day After Halloween, and they just kept the theme. I don't know.
Part 3?
but yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, because it was supposed to
Had
be.
nothing to do with my.
It was supposed to be
Myers. Actually-
when they were going to get rid of Michael Myers completely,
Right.
and they were just going to make it like kind of like a what's those?
The Mask Company order.
Yeah, where they would have different themes. Each movie would have a different theme.
Oh, I see.
So part 1 and 2 were Michael Myers. Part 3 was going to be this one. Part 4 was going to be a different one. But I guess the part 3 bombed so bad at the theater, they said, "Oh, what the hell? Let's bring back Michael Myers."
Right.
So they brought back Michael Myers. Butchers over here don't know what the hell we're talking about.
You know what? I'm stuck with Universal Monsters and Elvira cult films. I love
too,
those.
though.
I love
Are you a
those
big
films.
fan of those?
Oh hell yeah!
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah!
Yeah,
The classic
me too.
monsters, the Universal monsters are the shit.
Yeah.
That's where it all started.
And if I may add, the silent films. I love the silent films too because I watch a lot of the silent films because I put some of the rock music in the background while I'm reading the
Right.
subtitles.
Gotcha,
What about Godzilla? Like the original
Oh,
Godzillas and
yeah,
stuff?
definitely.
How about, all right, let's ask these youngsters.
Yeah.
here. Let's see. What's your favorite horror movie?
My favorite,
I love his
my favorite horror movie. Let's go with
The Blair Witch Project.
Scooby-Doo and the Loch Ness Monster.
There you go. I like it. I like it.
That's a
I know I'm a
great-
cartoon man. What's
How
your
about
favorite
you?
horror
I
movie?
got 2. It's Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Which
the
one?
original or
The
the
original, yeah, the black and white one, where he's swinging the chainsaw at the end is one of the greatest scenes ever. And Phantom of the Opera.
Oh,
Oh,
you don't hear that one too often.
no. Homeless?
I don't know. I like so many different ones. My favorite, and it's not really a horror film, although it's in that
Sleepaway
category. Huh? No.
Why are you always interrupting him?
Yeah,
I love Jimmy. I
Three
find
times.
3 chops at the end of the day.
Oh, that's 3 chops. Oh my goodness.
No, Mel Brooks, Young Frankenstein.
Oh, that's great.
I love that movie. And it's not really a horror film, Other than that, the first Nightmare on Elm Street, I love that. That was great.
I didn't like the remake.
No, anything
Remaking it
that
again.
wasn't Robert Englund sucked.
They're
I didn't like
remaking
2.
it again.
3 was better, a lot better, as far as comedy, and then it kind of all bombed after that as far as
It seemed like it went comedy after that, the whole Nightmare on Elm Street, didn't it?
It did. I mean, but that was kind of Freddy,
Yeah.
They kind of changed. That was groundbreaking in a sense. They changed the way horror was. All of a sudden, the villain's talking to you and fucking with you and making fun of you. And,
Right.
You know what I mean? It's,
All right, if you don't mind me saying, why don't we get back onto wrestling?
this is the
Yes.
wrestling guy story.
That was
like the short little
that,
difference.
but that was it because we are going too far with movies here, and it's just like it was a huge angle. But speaking about horror, has there ever been a time that you had a confrontational or with someone in pro wrestling that kind of like, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore?
That's a juicy detail.
There's something like, you know what, this shit is done. Has there ever been that negative point in your career doing wrestling?
In my career, no, not during my career.
So right now everything is still spark perfect.
Yeah, I would say so. I'm not unhappy. I'm happy where I'm at right now. I feel like where I was before I met UEW was fake. I feel like I didn't really have support. I feel like it was, I don't know what it was.
Mm-hmm.
But after coming to UEW, after hanging out with guys like Jimmy, hanging out with Andre, hanging out with Mike, hanging out with BC Killer, guys like that, you learn that these guys are family. And so I don't feel negative or anything bad. And nothing I could think of right now, no.
The reason I say that because there are some people, that we had in the past, some people will say, it didn't work out here, or, certain locations, schools, or other promoters and stuff like that. Not that I'm trying to start anything, but I just like, as an experience, like, we all have our share and tell, and I'm sure Jimmy does too. With
Oh, you don't want me good.
You want the story.
Yeah.
You guys are going to have to bring him back in here and do
You know what?
My Jimmy podcast.
That-
It was more about Kyle,
So, but other than all that, Kyle, do you want to give us a plug for tonight?
Yeah, I mean, Crimson Collision is tonight at 8 p.m. at the Underground Auditorium. Address is 926 Clayla Avenue in East Los Angeles. We told you already, Homeless Jimmy, main eventing tonight, going one-on-one with Michael Kruger. Hardcore Max X, he's going up against Big Dick Haas, so we'll see if he can finally get that first win.
I'm going to break his arm.
He's going to break his arm. DeMarco apparently is...
Kicking the show off.
He's kicking the show off and with an open challenge, apparently.
Wow.
And what else do we not talk about? There's other big matches. We got the UITV title on the line tonight. Charming Biagio Crescenzo goes one-on-one with the legendary Human Tornado. And if you've been following us, you know that this thing has been going on a long time between them. Tornado's been trying to get his hands on Biagio for quite some time, and it's finally going to happen. And not only is he getting his hands on him, but he gets the title. Possibly.
There's a possibility
You
he
know what I
may get it. I mean, Tornado's been around for about, 15, almost 20 years as well, hasn't he?
he's been around for a long time. I remember meeting him out in the East Coast, actually, a long time ago. Yep.
So this will definitely be interesting. He's been everywhere, and the Biagio undefeated since coming to UEW. He has not lost once, and I'm kind of thinking Tornado might be the one.
He might be the one, huh?
We
should start a bet here to see who's going to take the match.
No one wants to bet. Everybody wants to bet.
Other
Don't
than
forget,
that,
we got Cult Fiction in the house, too.
Cult Fiction is going to be in the house.
I believe so. Well, just because one member is not there, I'm part of it, sort of.
There we go.
Another thing I wanted to ask you, managers. How many managers do you have right now in your organization?
Holy shit. Maybe too many. We have, let's see, there is Dino Winwood, Billy Graham, Slammin' Stu, Mr. Clark, Danny Monchichi Ramirez.
Danny! Good old
Danny Monchichi Ramirez.
Oh my goodness.
He's still around. I think so.
Actually,
He's in a cage somewhere right now.
Being cooped up in our compound down there.
He's still helping out people lose weight, right? With that vitamin.
Well, when we were doing the Kyle and Munch show, he was. But I don't know if he's still doing that or not. We haven't talked about Herbalife in a while. Thank God.
You won't hear the end of it.
Right now, I think he's drinking some of my hooch.
Oh, it's good Kool-Aid. Well, I guess that leaves me out of the question. I mean, because I was like, well, is there any space for the butcher there for to be as a manager? But I guess I'll just have to wait.
Hey, you never know.
You know,
Come down to the shows. That's your first step.
that
How
would
do
get
you
to
know who you're going to manage if you don't show up?
You know what? I want to manage you.
You want
I want to manage you.
Unfortunately, I don't think the
I'll bring all the Thunderbird.
the vicious nomad doesn't follow.
I'll bring
anybody.
food.
I had
I'll bring a
one
new
guy
carbo
try.
box.
The one guy that brought me in was Rob Black, and unfortunate for him, he got fired, and so I don't know if I'm going to be giving managers any
Rob Black.
time soon.
That's another name. Well, I know he's got his own radio going on too.
Well, he was in UEW when I first got in.
He was.
I haven't heard from him in a while. I mean, I have him on Facebook, but I mean, he's just like doing his political thing.
Yeah,
Mostly
Let's talk about One Wild Night.
Yeah, actually, no. I was talking with Dallas.
Mhm.
She actually had asked me about that. Wanted to make sure that I talked about it tonight. And One Wild Night was awesome. Definitely something I never thought we were going to be able to do, and it was probably the biggest gift I've ever received. My family's ever received. My Aunt Allie was diagnosed with cancer, and there's nothing I could really do myself, and thankfully UEW was there to give me the gift and say, you know what, whatever you need from us, we'll help you get flyers made, we'll get you the arena, you can have the ring, whatever you need from us, just tell us, and we'll get this going. And so we decided to do a charity show, and within I think a day or two, I had the whole card booked. Everybody, I had guys calling, like JD Horror and Mike Rain, calling me from freaking NorCal and SenCal, telling me, hey, I want to come work on the show and help out. And I'm going, it's a charity show. I can't pay you anything. And it doesn't even matter, man, as long as we're helping family. And so, like I said, within 2 days, I had the entire show booked. And it's kind of getting me a little emotional thinking about it. But it was an amazing night. We had people there. I had a couple people tell me that they thought it was one of the biggest shows they've seen in SoCal in a long time, just because of some of the people we had in there. We had a large variety of people you don't really see anymore. We had, God, I can't even remember. There's so many people that night. I think we had like 10 matches that night. But yeah, and we got to see a Supreme's last match as well against Pinky, which was pretty cool. Yeah. I'm starting to draw a blank. I'm sorry.
DeMarco there.
We had DeMarco there. You were in that.
DeMarco's just everywhere.
He's just booming.
How about Homeless Jimmy? Was he there?
He was supposed to be. Unfortunately, we couldn't get him out there. There was a mishap with rides, and we weren't able to get him out there. But he was supposed to be. He's on the posters.
My shopping cart didn't.
I see him right here.
And then you did mention that they did a music video.
Yeah.
UEW
Waves.
arena.
Waves came out and hit us up and said, hey, we're fans of wrestling. We'd like to come out and just record what you guys do, and if it's all right with you, we'd like to use the footage in our music video. And our guys said, yeah, sure. So they came out, and I think a lot of us didn't know who they were. Because we were sitting there going, who are these guys? They had like these crazy full bodysuit cameras they were wandering around the ring with, and I think it was just this week, right? Earlier this week that they released it. It's have you guys got to see it yet?
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's seriously, if you've never seen a UEW show up close, that's probably the best way to see it as like a first time seeing it, because other than being there in person, it captures what it's like to be there up close and see it. So it's truly amazing, and the fact that they asked us to be involved in it was so awesome, and to be mentioned in Rolling Stone, that's fucking very cool.
Wow, that's pretty deep.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that is really good.
Now let me ask you, besides UEW, I mean, who do you study? I mean, for the UEW, and where do you want to go? I mean, do you study like JR, Jim Ross, Joey Styles? Do you
Joey Styles.
consider your own style?
I would definitely say Joey Styles, because at first when I started doing at first I had Rivera with me, but he did 2-3 shows and then he was gone. And then we continuously tried to find a replacement, and it just wasn't working. Like we had Rob Black sit with us, and then he became a manager, left me from the table. So after that point, they just decided, you know what? You can do it on your own. So I just kind of rocked it on my own after that. And so I watched Joey Styles and stuff, because Joey Styles was phenomenal at doing it by himself. And other than that, I really have just learned to kind of go off of what I see and to just kind of keep it real. Actually, I did get to have a conversation with Chris Kloss once, and he said, instead of trying to mimic everything that's going on in the ring, you gotta you gotta do the play-by-play, but if you call it like you're seeing it as a fan or just keep it real, or like he was like talking about fans drinking in the audience and shit while we were calling a match together. He was trying to help me, and so that I've kind of taken that as well. I don't always necessarily just stick, oh, he's hitting it, I'll still give the wrestlers their due and talk, because I know it takes a long time to learn those moves. So I'll give them the credit where credit's due, but I don't always just consistently stick on arm lock, now headlock, now this. Right. So that was probably.
Well, so the part of the trick is that you call it as you see it, but then you want to add your own flavor and your own,
yes, curveball
there, just to catch, like, okay, a little humor in there too. So it'll make it more fun and interesting, so people can still listen. Where do you see yourself? Let's say, I mean, it is successful what you're doing, and it's really great what we're here to turn about. Well, where do you see yourself? Let's say about another 5 years. Do you want to take this maybe to WWE broadcasting, or do you something that pro wrestling?
No, not really, because it's like I feel like it's almost the same thing that they would do to a commentator that they do to the wrestlers. They take them in there and they abuse them, like Joey Styles. Joey Styles couldn't go in there and beat fucking Joey Styles. He had to be WWE's Joey Styles. He was told not to call the moves in the ring. He was told to tell fucking stories, and that's all great. You have to tell stories, but you also respect those moves that are happening in the ring. And to tell Joey Styles not to be Joey Styles, that doesn't work. So not comparing myself to Joey Styles at all, but if I was able to get where I consider myself a good commentator, to go in there and then them tell me I can't be me and I have to do it their way, I don't think I could do it necessarily. I could try, but I don't know if it would sound fake. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I don't know. My mission in 5 years is for UEW to be at the level of fuck TNA, but something like that. You know what I mean? Right. So fuck Lucha Underground would be something like that. You know what I mean? Up there.
And it's not a disrespectful. No. Just off the bat, people are listening. They don't know what we're talking about, but you want to take it to that next level. It's like how we talk about it. Ideas for podcast. So many people are doing so many podcasts or doing like literally. My whole thing was like a butcher shop, like Piper's Pit. Mm-hmm. That was my whole little thing. But I like to see people advance with this market with wrestling. I love wrestling. It's like I'm telling them. There's times I tell them, sometimes like wrestling is not. I think it's kind of fading because with whole MMA, and then you got all these other defensive. When I go to the Fit Expo, there's booming of all kinds of athletes and younger viewers like, oh. I go, do you watch wrestling? No, I watch MMA. So it kind of like a little punch in the stomach, something that you grow up with. Mm-hmm. But other than all that, I mean, I love the sport, and that's just like the whole creativity. And so when I was asking Jimmy and yourselves about how do you feel about wrestling, where it's going in the direction, and you just made it clear right there. So I figured, I applaud you for that, for like where you want to take it to the next level. That's great.
Well, I think one of the things that he didn't mention that we didn't mention was that there are so many of these small independent companies coming up, and it's like now you're spreading out the juice, you're spreading out the fans, and because we're running the same weekend as some other company is, we got half of our fans over there, or maybe vice versa, they got half of their
divided,
fans. It's so split up, especially here in this small area of SoCal. There's a lot of small independent companies, and trying to be an up-and-coming company with all that to contend to, you got to throw in everything. You know what I mean? You have to push the market. That's what we're doing.
They're one of the quickest up-and-coming companies in, the last year?
Well, we came back May 17th of last year.
Not that I want to pat myself on the back, but I was actually part of one of the...
Go ahead, Barry Horowitz.
Hey, I am Jewish. So it does go. No, XPW. When XPW started, I was part of that big thing. And that was one of the exciting points that I found out about UEW is we had Supreme there. And I got, holy shit, this could go well. Mm-hmm. But as things went, he parted his ways with UEW for, other reasons we won't mention, none of my business.
Right.
But hopefully things will come up and we'll get there. I'm putting everything I got into it, to make this company grow.
Fucking A, you did what do you call that? The table heard around the world. He got thrown off the top of our trailer out there, fell right through a table filled with light tubes in the 200 light tube death match, right into the asphalt. I mean, we've got messages from people in Sweden, around the world, talking about Homeless Jimmy and UEW and what he did in the 200 light tube death match.
And that's the only place that you could see Homeless Jimmy is in UEW, or our affiliates that we work with. Like I did a special guest referee for
Freak Show.
Freak Show. I was possessed by the ghost of Michael Jackson. But,
Homeless Jimmy Jackson. It was amazing.
Yeah. I actually haven't been able to shake that. I keep doing the moonwalk.
So now you said real quick that you guys came back. You want to tell, because everybody just knows you guys and thinks of you guys as a brand new.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're actually kind of old. We've been around. I want to say it originally came out in '99, or was it 2001? 2001 officially, and it was basically created for misfit wrestlers, guys that couldn't work other places, guys that were being told you can't be here, and it quickly became a huge thing, and the city of Ventura shut down, and a couple years later, 2006, it kind of came back, and it didn't have a very long run, but it came back with a fury, and it was, again, another big show. It had guys like Beastie Killer, Supreme, guys like El Chupacabra, Chimera, Ricardo Rodriguez, guys like that came through, and they were working in UEW, and as well as Youth Suicide, Carnage, guys like that. And so that went on for a little bit, and they ended up going under for a little while, and then we all got the call in January, Kyle, we want you to be a part of UEW. It's coming back. UEW's coming back. So okay, and we started training, started going to the building and stuff, and getting ready. And next thing you know, we're in Pacoima, and UEW's back. And it was kind of cool because it was I don't want to say it was like a backyard show, but the venue we were at was like this parking, almost in a parking lot, and it was right in Pacoima, and there was houses and projects and stuff everywhere. And when the show started, the streets, it looked like we were having a festival because they were just filled with people standing all around trying to watch the show, and it was amazing.
So you guys are now here in Los Angeles.
Yes, we are officially in LA.
LA. Are you going to remain there, or
yes,
are you guys planning to spread out maybe?
Well, I mean, of course.
I hope you guys expand. That's for sure. I mean, but I just you guys remain here in the heart of it, or?
Well, yeah. I mean, LA is always going to be our home, but I know I don't know how much I can and exactly talk about, but I know there's plans to start putting this show on the road. Okay. We have our building right now that we're taking care of first. So right now we're more worried about running shows at the Underground Auditorium and working on the school. But once everything kind of lines up, yeah, we want to take it down to San Diego, Las Vegas, places like that. Get out of California, but take it, take it around, and so we'll see what happens the next year. Huh?
How are we going to get Homeless Jimmy over there?
We always get Homeless Jimmy over there. They come pick my ass up. I get chauffeured around this bitch.
There you go.
Except Max.
I thought maybe just get some freight train and just...
Oh, man, there's some tension between there.
You can take the Marco, but leave Max at home, okay?
All this for Disneyland.
All this for Disneyland.
The other question Dallas had asked
you, bro. I'm a Disneyland fanatic too. Thank you. Screw this world.
Go ahead and.
The other question that Dallas had asked me was she wanted to know about the wrestling match that I had at Blood Brothers with Jimmy Ray, and actually he's not a SenCal referee. He is the ring announcer for SenCal. And we came in, basically the whole thing started because Sledge took our championship, didn't want to defend it anymore. So he went to SenCal and was now just going to hang out over there. So we told him, bring the belt, defend the title, or it's going to come off you. He wouldn't come, so he said, come over here. He came down to SenCal. We brought Andre Verdun as the #1 contender. He still refused to fight, so we stripped him of the title. We had a battle royal that night, and he thought his brother JD Horror was winning the belt for him. JD Horror won it for himself, and JD Horror was UEW all the way. So after that point, Jimmy Ray kind of got in my face during that whole situation, and I stole his hat, and I guess he got really butthurt over it and was really upset that, oh, you got my fedora, I have to have my fedora back. So I thought it was funny, and I gave it to a lot of my friends and also to the fans, the Underground Fiends and Front Row Mafia, and they passed it around for like a month or two, and by the time we got it back, unspeakable things had happened to it. But Jimmy Ray was just like a mad dog, and he wanted a match, so he called up got the match at UEW, I was told I was granted to pick the stipulation of the match, so I chose Underground Rules. So we went in. It's my first wrestling match. I wouldn't actually really call it a wrestling match. It was more kind of like a fight, if you'd call it that. But it felt great getting to put my hands on Jimmy Ray. I never thought I'd get to crack him in the face with a light tube or get to smash him into light tubes. So that was pretty cool. And I had the match won, but Robbie Phoenix had to get involved. Smashed me in the face with that light tube.
Yeah.
And so unfortunately, in my first professional wrestling match, I have a loss against Jimmy fucking Ray.
Well, let me ask you this.
Could be worse. You could lose to the Butcher.
Oh, stop. Let me ask you this. Do you ever get that itch to this very day that you want to get back in the ring?
Yeah. After doing that and coming out and I was like high for 2-3 days after that. I felt stoned off of just the fans, just hearing them chant Kyle Wylde and being behind me, and when I felt my own blood down my face, it was as weird as it sounds. Some people would be like, oh my God, I'm bloody, I don't ever want to do this again. It made me hungry. I wanted to fucking do it again. So I don't have plans of jumping in a ring anytime soon, but the school's going, so you'll probably catch me in there, and who knows what's going to happen in a year or two.
Maybe I'll just get out of I'll consider myself retirement, but you know what, maybe if I just get back in the ring and maybe I'll just challenge your ass. So
all right.
Well, just for old time's sake, you could be our referee.
All right.
I don't know if you want that. That's.
You know what? He's probably gonna favor you.
Well, I don't even know about that, but just
he may come with 2 fluorescent lamps.
This guy's hardcore. You want him as your referee?
Let's get hardcore. I never done a hardcore.
I'm still trying to figure out how you're gonna get into the ring.
Oh goodness.
Dang.
We got security. They'll help him.
Yeah, security will help him get in.
I'll be like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it anymore.
Hey, Simon Stu could roll in there, so it could be.
Oh my goodness.
Have you guys seen him since he got shaved bald? He's like fucking baby Huey. Is like, I don't know what that big cue ball.
He looks deformed.
He looks deformed.
Let me ask you, are we gonna see you guys in the inflatable hot tub?
No,
Probably not.
not unless it's filled with something else other than guys.
Are you Rocket Boy?
There's like a 99.9999.
Max? Is that a yes? All right, Max
No,
is
I didn't say-
book him. And book him for the inflatable hot tub.
Limelight was in there.
We'll get you. I was like, oh my goodness.
do it, man.
Me at home, let's buy you some Mickey Mouse ears.
Oh my goodness.
David, we spoke to the guy before, but he's never been in the hot tub. I wouldn't be opposed to talking to him. I don't know if I'm going to get in this hot tub, though.
2 cents interviews on YouTube. That's as far as we'll take it.
Just remember which is the mic and which is not the mic.
Yeah. And trust me, David wants both mics. He wants to fill those bubbles. Anyways.
Anyway, do you want to let everybody know upcoming events? And
Yeah. Well, obviously tonight, Crimson Collision, like I said, 926 Clayla Avenue, tonight at 8 o'clock. We also have only a couple more shows left this year, actual UEW shows. October 10th is a UEW event. And then on Halloween night, October 31st, is UEW's biggest event of the year. We're doing Hellbound. So, of course, there's going to be hardcore matches there. There's going to be a lot of different things going on, I'm sure. All the titles will be on the line. It's going to be a huge event. So that's one not to miss. Of course, after that, we also are doing a Creature Theater all night long with that. Other than that, November 20th and 21st, we're doing the West Coast Cruiser Cup tournament. So that you actually probably won't see a whole lot of UEW regulars. We kind of go through and find like the best cruiserweights through California. So we'll have a bunch of different guys in there. And then on December, for Christmas, December 12th, we're doing our first solo deathmatch tournament. I think we're the only company to do a deathmatch tournament in California since XPW. So Sovereign of Slaughter will be December 12th. And again, that's also going to be probably something that's not going to be a lot of UEW regulars, but it's also going to be something that a lot of the guys on the West Coast, if you're into deathmatch or into hardcore, you're not going to want to miss this because you're going to see faces that you probably won't see any other time or anywhere else out here. So
I'm going to encourage myself to go see it. I've never been to one.
Can I just put him in
put that on
if
right?
you come, you get a free seat.
You'll see.
If I have a commitment from you right now, you put your hand on the book of Kyle Wylde and say that you will come to Sovereign of Slaughter, you'll be in free.
You gotta be careful.
I'm there.
There we go, the butcher.
I'm going to be there.
Yeah,
It's going to be at Sovereign of Slaughter.
You gotta be careful when you tell him come.
Oh shit!
Jeez, come on, David, come on.
I
Jeez.
touch my foot.
That's why, didn't you notice it kind
And
of
he'll be a
stuck to his head?
special guest commentator.
He'll be commentator, all right.
All right, let's talk about sports
You know
again.
what I just got that?
Jeez.
You want to let everybody know? Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Sure, yeah. You can follow us on Facebook. It's Facebook / Underground Empire Wrestling. We're also on Instagram on UEW Underground Society, all one word, and also on Twitter at UEW Underground.
And also for you wrestling fans, hardcore fans, you can get some DVDs, Blu-ray and regular DVD for the price of $10 and $15 at the Wrestling Guys store. David, would you like to give the address?
Yes, I would. 6085 State Street, Huntington Park, California, 90255.
These are great DVDs. It'll be a great collection to your wrestling case.
Oh yeah.
I would like to thank everybody for coming. Rocky Boy didn't say much. You want to say anything, Rocky Boy? It's all yours.
What about some words for whoever your opponent is tonight?
Oh man,
A little special message.
Like wherever it is, step in that ring, you're gonna hurt.
That's
So
intense.
step my
He's
challenge.
whooping that ass.
Ooh.
That ass.
Or whoop it, or he's going to tap.
Bring that ass here.
Ooh.
I'm not talking to you, I'm not talking to you, but
You're still waiting for somebody to tap that ass.
Oh, goodness.
I would also like to. I know I got you committed for Sovereign of Slaughter, but I'd also like to talk to you guys. We'd love to have you guys come down to one of the UEW events. I heard you guys are doing something with AWS.
Yes.
You guys are going to do a live podcast there.
Yes.
So,
Come down to UEW. We'd love to have you guys come in and do a podcast for the fans and stuff.
that'd be awesome, and it'll be an honor. There's so much little
We're still
ideas.
gonna work with UEW for our Halloween thing here.
Oh, definitely.
there's a show tonight.
So there's some little ideas that we have up our sleeve for Halloween, and I'm still trying to make it work out. I spoke to your wife about it at the time she was here, but I will give you more details about it now that Facebook or something.
Cool.
We'll do a pre-show in October. How about that?
Sounds good.
Definitely, and brag
All
about
right.
it. And
Well, we have
Jimmy,
a show to run to.
we definitely got to do a podcast with
Definitely, I got some words that you'd like to hear.
some words of wisdom, and I'll have some Thunderbird here for you.
All right.
Will that work?
Sure.
All right, for Butcher, I want to thank all you guys.
Thank you. Yeah.
Max,
Well,
fuck you and your Mickey Mouse
let's go
here.
with this one then.
Let's go to this right now.
Right now.
We are out.
See ya.